guys, I'm just your MC. It's an old joke. Your Mexican comic, okay? Sure. And I'm going to be, coming up in between. We're going to have a good time because you know what? Guess what? You're going to die anyway. Why don't you have a good time while you're here? Yeah. I mean, we got an AARP booth set up in the back in case you guys need some insurance or some discounts or some senior thing. Sure. Wow, that didn't go over. Fuck you guys. That didn't make you old, okay? Fuck off, man. You're making jokes with I'm old. Fuck you. I'm old too. Fuckers, man. And I'm sorry. I wasn't going to be mean. I mean, you guys are like pussies like the audiences now. They're all, Anyway. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna, J.R. Brow was supposed to be here, but he had a gig. And he had a gig in Maui. He got a new manager. I found out it's actually Matt Sadler's. Okay, so anyway, are you guys ready for J.R. Brow? Yeah. He's sitting on a ship. Okay, he's in a cabin. Okay, he didn't dress up. Okay, that's for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Brow.
Hey everybody, it's me, J.R. Brow. Pardon the gut, I'm sitting down. I'm on the shores of Kauai in Hawaii on a ship. We're doing a whole tour of the islands. I had to take the gig, and that's why I didn't make the sweet memorial for Beaufest. But I will share a few memories. I know that he was the first guy to take me under his wings when I first got to the Velveeta after my inaugural open mic set. As I was walking past the bar, he said, "You should come back and do that again." And he wasn't done there. He said, "And if you don't, I completely understand," which is something Beau would have said. And I felt like I was part of a family at that point. And he had so many great little, once we got to be friends, he would say things more trusting, like, "Hey, get a case of beer for me. My back is out. John Bender's is drinking from the gun. I gotta go stop him." And, stuff like that. And I know the horrible Beau impression, but that's the best I can remember. And, it was Howard Beecher who was like, you should do like a 5-minute skit on Beau. You should get a ponytail. Oh. And I know the horrible Beecher, not being paid. Anyway, all these voices run through my head. I remember playing disc golf with Beau and Johnny Hardwick and Howard Kramer, and just hearing, to watch Beau with that amazing underhand drive that he had, it would get twice as far as anybody else's disc. And Hardwick would be like, "Man, that is a great throw. I don't know how you do that." And that's all I got. But anyway, that's what I was leading up to. I miss our good friend, our dear friend Beau, and may his memory live on forever. Rest in peace, our Beau Bahan.
Give it up for Beau. Give it up for J.R. Brow. All right, so we had kind of a rough start, sure. But we're gonna go and we're gonna bring up somebody that's I met this guy before I was a comic. I met this guy before anything. It was the very first person I ever met, and I was at the Ritz, where it is down the street, and that's when Hester's was there, and I was smoking a cigarette back when I smoked, and I threw the butt right in the urinal, and this guy right next to me goes, "Hey, somebody has to clean that. Somebody has to clean that. What the hell?" And I go, "Hey, don't worry about it. Somebody, just fuck off, man." And then we went to the bar and we were about to fight. And then we go, "Can I buy you a drink?" "Sure." And that's how I met the next guy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Amos Ewing.
Well, I'd forgotten that's how we met, but that is a true story. I didn't know that was the time we met. No butts in the urinal, please, ladies. Do not put your butts in the urinal. You're liable to get an infection in there. So, it's delightful to be here, except we're here for the oddest reason that Beau has passed away, damn it. We shared many a night after Velveeta Room closed, 3 or 4 in the morning at his place, smoking a little pot, drink a little Shiner Bock, and have a pity party about who was angry with Shannon and Michael about the way the whole damn place was run. We did many a night at this pity party. And it was fun. It was therapeutic. Why? Well, we bitching about it because we worked here, of course. But anyway, on the lighter note, it's just so fucking delightful to see all these comics and faces. Dear friends of Mr. Bahan. Now, I'd have a joke ready, but I don't. I don't want to pull out one of my old fucking routines. God knows how scary that could get. You know, it's Halloween. And just a question for you before I go. Who made RuPaul? Did Tanya Tucker? All right, good night. Next person speaking. I just wrote that last night. That's my newest fucking pun. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Amos Ewing.
So, you know, I quit drinking, but I smoke a lot of pot. And, who's next?
Me.
Who?
Me. Perfect. Tom Hester.
No, but who's next? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to mess it up, man. This guy, I love this guy. He was there at the beginning at the old Velveeta Room. He used to play his guitar and do all these like the songs that all the girls were like, oh, just play the guitar again. I was just like, oh, I wanted to puke. But anyway, give it up for Tom Hester.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're all here for Beau. What a great fucking guy he was, wasn't he? Yeah, I was reading some of the stuff where how many people's lives he's touched or whatever. He was there for so many people that have like moments in their lives where they'd be down and stuff or whatever, and Beau was always there for him. Beau was like that for me and Brian Mallow. We were roommates during that time when he used to live over at the other place, and Brian and I would go over there and we'd smoke occasionally over there. And we were sitting over there, and I was like, Beau, I know you know some people, but like this guy, like Poi Dog Pondering was the fucking band. Remember that band? Yeah. Poi Dog Pondering, Tin Hands, Eddie Brickell, New Bohemians, they were the shit back then. And I was like that, and I was like, Tin Hands, like some of them came into the Velveeta Room, and I was like, man, I'd really like to meet with somebody in Poi Dog. I mean, I'm Poi Dog, and then Poi Dog. He's like, yeah, he goes like that. He goes, yeah, enjoy. He's like that. I go here, and he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, Dave. He goes, there's Tom. Like that. And I go, yeah, we met Dave. Yeah, so you know anybody in Poi Dog? He's like, yeah, Dave, Tom, Dave. And I'm like, oh, he's the fucking horn player. Fucking so stoned I can't recognize the guy I'm wanting to meet. That fucking sucks.
Hey, I'll meet you again.
Hey, Dave! Still love your fucking band, man. Saw y'all out in Hollywood too. After Brian and I moved to Hollywood, we went out to the Palladium. Were y'all playing the Palladium, wasn't it? Yeah, that show fucking rocked. Especially when y'all did Thanksgiving for every wrong move. That town lost their minds. That was really, really fun. Good to see you again. Nice to meet you again. Yeah, by the way, that guy's the shit in the room. Yeah, so just let you know. Yeah. And before I close out, I'm just going to do, this was one of the first jokes that I ever did here at the Velveeta Room. I'm going to do two of them actually. One of them was, one of my friends was eating a box of Milk Duds, and one of them wasn't a dud, and it blew his head off. The other one is, have you ever been so stoned you pull up the red light and you look over and you can't tell if your window is up or down on your motorcycle? Thank you very much. We're going to miss you both.
Tom Hester, folks, come on. Hey, you know what? Forever, Beau kept on trying to sell a joke to me and JR and anybody that would have it. Would you like to hear that joke? Yes. Well, I don't remember it, but it's, maybe next time I'll come up and... You know what? I have really mastered the art of killing the crowd. Have you noticed that? I mean, I come up and you guys want to laugh, don't you?
Yes.
But it's not going to happen while I'm up here, okay? Just so you know, okay? I make it so that anybody goes up after me, they kill. Why? Comparison, it's just... Shut up, okay? Just trying to, I'm nervous and I watch TV and that's all I do now, okay? Are you ready for the next comic instead of this awkwardness that we're going through right now? This next guy, I like him. He's a fun guy. I remember I was hanging out with him on Rainy Street just before him and his roommate John, was this guy named Joey that was an artist, and then anyway, he moved to LA, and he's one of the biggies here at the Velveeta Room. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Johnny Hardwick.
and Willie. You come up here, Willie. All right, hey. Oh, man. I just got to take a breath. I haven't done this in a while. I moved to Austin around the year 1990, and I had never loved a man before. And then I met Beau Bahan. Instantly fell. He's a great guy. How y'all doing? Let's kind of get a feel for the audience. How many Democrats do we have here tonight? By a show of hands. How many Republicans by a show of hands? I think we should take all these AK-47s and melt them down and make Confederate statues out of them. I don't have much of an act. I haven't done it. Well, I wrote a whole bunch of stuff though. I wrote a song, oh, 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 Ozempic, you know, we just ruined ELO, Ozempic. So I say on these drugs, this thing is about to fall. They say, don't take Ozempic if you're allergic to Ozempic. Well, nobody was allergic to Ozempic until Ozempic made Ozempic. Oh, this is killing. I love it. I just wanted to say something about Beau. He's a great guy. I used to go over to his house when he lived on Elizabeth. Anyone remember that house? Oh, yeah. And he'd give me a loofah. You want a loofah? Yeah. A loofah. He had a loofah vine in his backyard, and he gave me many loofahs. And he's a wonderful guy, and he was the best manager probably that ever came into this place. He is the Velveeta Room. So thanks a lot. Let's keep it going.
Give it for Johnny. Sorry about I had to get up in the jacket. So Matt, you were telling me that who's next? Give me a hint. No, okay, I knew who's next. You know what? This next guy coming up, he was one of the originals of the Velveeta Room. I believe he was one of the Cheese Pistols. I don't know, could be. Ladies and gentlemen, very funny man. Give it up for Rob Nash.
Just flew in from San Francisco, and boy, is my asshole tired. Thank you. Let's see. I don't know what to say except that Beau was a really nice guy. He was the first guy that gave me a headlining gig at the Velveeta Room with the Blind Pig is now, and thank you. And he was just a really nice guy, you know. Thanks. That was my Beau. I don't have anything else to say except that he was a great guy and we miss him, and I'm really glad to see everybody after all these fucking years. Y'all look so fucking old.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Nash. Rob Nash. Hey, give it up for his gray hair. Come on. Okay, so, you know, I think I kind of messed up this show by kind of coming up and being a little lame and stuff. So, but you know, I'm gonna kind of try to change it. And you know what? Give it up for your next comic. I think you're gonna really like him, ladies and gentlemen. He was at the old Velveeta, Matt Sadler.
Howard Beecher. Please keep it going for Howard Beecher, everybody. Clap for him. It's nice to see everybody again. I'm super excited about this. I wish we were under happier circumstances, but it's nice that we're getting the band back together. And what the fuck happened? We all got old, and it's awesome. Milaka said that it looked like we took a picture of our parents 30 years ago. That's what we all look like now, but it's okay. We're all still here, and we're missing Beau together, which is awesome. I'm just going to do a quick story because there's other people. And JR does a better impression of Beau than I'll ever do because he's fucking JR Brown, his goddamn impressions. But this is a kind of a dirty story, but it Beau's not the dirty part of it. The person who is the dirty part of it is not here, but he was in the Pantheon. He was, like, when I started down the street in '93, the people that are in this room were my Mount Rushmore comedy. I mean, I studied everything they did. I was just obsessed with comedy, was a sponge, trying to get everything I could learn from these guys, and they're the people that I wanted to be, and it's great. But Beau was the one, like, Beau had heard all the jokes. Like, there was nothing you could do to impress him, and when you did, it was huge. It was so impressive that you made Beau laugh, because it was not easy to do. The best you could get out of him usually was a, you know. But if you made it, and if you came off stage and he was like, that bit is really good, that's a great, yeah, it's got legs, man, you gotta go with it. But yeah, and so one day I was dating a girl before I met my beautiful wife, but we were driving on South Congress, and there was a place there back in the day called Cinema West. Do you guys know it? Oh, yeah. Remember Cinema West? I'm driving with this girl, and she asked me, she goes, what is that? And I go, it's a porno theater. And she goes, well, what goes on? And I go, well, guys go in there and they watch a movie. And she's like, well, can we go in there? And I was like, what? She goes, I want to go in there and see the porno. And I was like, we can rent a porno and watch it. No, I want to go into a theater. So we go into Cinema West, right? I take a girl to Cinema West because I'm classy like that. And you go into Cinema West, I'll never forget this. It is so dark, you can't see your hand, which is what you're going to be using in a couple of minutes. You can't see anything, right? And I was just nervous, and I'm panicked, and I'm just trying to get to a seat so we can just watch the thing and then fuck off, right? And we get there, and I turn left into a row, and I bump right into a guy who's got his legs up on the seat in front of him, just going to town. And I was just like, oh God, I'm so sorry. So scratched it, and that was a Thursday. Thursday night was open mic. That's what I lived for. And I go to open mic that night, and a guy, one of the comics, one of the veteran comics, one of the guys I adored and worshiped, came up to me and he goes, hey, Matt, I think I saw you today, but I don't want to say where. And it was Kip Pope, and I go, yeah, you saw me. And he goes, man, that place is my neighborhood bistro. I'm there every day. And I go, yeah. It makes a lot of sense, you know? And he goes, stick with that girl, because if she'll go there, she will go anywhere. And it turns out that was true. She would go with the bartender, some of my friends, any stranger who would have her. But we get to the club that night, and I do a set that I just written in that moment about seeing somebody you know at a porno theater. You know, I didn't name names or anything like that, but by then it had gotten around the room. All the comics knew what had happened. And Beau, my favorite person in the world, he had the greatest reaction to it. He goes, Matt, did you really see Chip in porno theater masturbating? And I go, yeah, no, we bumped into her. He goes, and he was jacking off? Yeah, Beau, he was. Beau gave me my first gig, and he was always, like, we were all here because we were misfits. You know, we just didn't fit in anywhere else. And Beau was the one. I never got to be around for the third show. I heard the stories, but I was not cool enough. I was the misfit of the misfits. I wasn't even cool enough to be invited to the. Well, fuck off. Now I'm getting paid, so fuck it. But yeah, real quick during my time, I want to yield some of my time to someone who knew Beau very well and worked with him. And they established this great friendship and great relationship together. I'm going to bring her up on stage now. We've been married for 20 years. Please give it up for my wife, Becca Sadler. Hi, honey.
Hi, Dave.
Come on up here. Say a few words about Beau.
Oh my God, I forgot how bright those lights are. Beau, let's see, 92 October. I'm working at Spaghetti Warehouse, and one of the waiters I'm working with apparently worked the door here, and he wanted the night off. And Beau said, listen, you got to find me somebody. So he asked the room full of people at Spaghetti Warehouse in the break room, does anybody want to work at a comedy club? And I was like, shit, I'll fucking do it. Let's do it. And so I called Beau, and it was a weird interview on the phone. He said, well, it's a Halloween, so go ahead and dress up, okay? And I was like, you know, you're giving me 30 minutes here. So I dressed up as a mime because it was white pancake make and a black shirt. And I mimed live comedy, 20 comedians for $2, come on in, you know. And I packed the house, apparently, and Beau said, yeah, can you come again next Saturday? We got some more people. JR was supposed to be my person that did the impersonations for Beau when I was going to do them, but I didn't realize until Beau passed and I reflected, as I'm sure all of us did, what our relationship was and, you know, what he meant to me. And it's unfortunate that I didn't realize what a huge part of my life Beau was in without him knowing it. But it is his belief and his hiring me in here and putting me behind the bar sometimes and introducing me to an amazing group of people and some really good weed at times. You know, I stand here married to a man I met at the Velveeta Room, as I think other people here do. It dawned on me that, damn, he was a huge part of who I am, and it's because of him. He took me to go buy my bicycle. I needed a bike to get around town. He helped me put up my first computer. When Matt and I got married, he promised a steak dinner that we still are supposed to get 20 years later. I'm just going to tell a quick Beau story. I was the door person at the Velveeta Room for many years, and then started performing with Monk's Night Out here. And one of the times that I was the door person, we were packed, and this is of course down there by the Velveeta Room, and I mean by the Blind Pig where that was. And we're packed, you know, and the house is packed. And Beau makes his way from the bar way back there to the front to where I'm standing, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got somebody back here drunk. You need to come kick him out." And I was like, I need to kick him out. Yeah, that's part of a door person's job. And I'm looking at the damn booth, and Betnar's is sitting right there, and I'm like, okay, I'll go do my job. Well, it turns out it was a guy in a wheelchair. And he's being very loud and very drunk, and I walk up to him and go, "Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You're being, what? No, keep your voice down. This is the first time I'm doing this. Could you just work with me here a little bit?" "I can't believe you're trying to kick me out of here. I'm just gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna come fuck you." I mean, I'm wheeling him out as I'm doing that. If you just let me. And I was like, "What are you gonna do, sir? You gonna stand up?" And I went, "Oh my God, I didn't do that. I just did not say to that person. I did not. You're gonna kick my ass?" I was like, "Oh my God, I did not say that." And I was a wreck for the rest of the day. And I was like, Beau Bahan was right there, and other people, and there's comedians here, and that person, Brian Mallow was standing over there. Why couldn't you? And I was like, "Did you hear what I said to him?" He goes, "That's part of the business. Get used to it." I was like, "Okay." Part of the motherfucking business. I got used to it. Anyway, Beau, I love you, and I swear to God I'm going to cash in on that steak dinner when I get to heaven.
Yeah! Becca Sadler, everybody, let her hear you. She wrote that. Yeah, that's awesome. Listen, I've got a list of people here that are going to come up and say some words. If I missed anybody or you're not on the list, just get with me and I'll be happy to put you there and then transfer it to Beecher, who's really high right now. I don't know if anybody's caught on yet. There he is. Look at that. You got it, buddy. Okay. Howard Beecher, everybody.
Okay, so, hey, thanks for outing me, by the way. Thanks. I'm just trying to get my high on, and my wife's here, by the way. Thank you. Anyway, hey, you know what? Speaking of my wife, I remember a time when we were hanging out at Beau's house. Remember the one on Elizabeth Street? And we're sitting on the ground when you first walk in, and Beau's right there, and then Sue's right there, and I'm right here, and we're talking. And then Sue starts telling the story. She goes, I don't do a good Sue, but anyway, she was, just shut up. Anyway, and so, seriously, I don't have any funny left. I'm just trying to tell a story. Can we move on? God damn. Anyway, so seriously, and then we're sitting there, and then, Sue's saying, she starts telling this story about, those flying roaches? You ever seen them, the big ones? She was telling a story about that roach just jumping on her. And we're like, oh, that's horrible. When a roach jumped on her. It was funny at the time, okay? And when I was sitting there, I thought that'd be a funny thing to say. I'm finding out now, not so much. I had to follow Matt and Becca. Fuck those guys, okay? They're just some sort of, who's next? Okay, I know who's next. Hey guys, I guess I'm the guy that kind of brings everything down on an otherwise good show. I get that now. I didn't choose for this part, okay? The next person coming up, I remember her. She was one of the ones over here at Hester's, you know, just doing the Hester's things, but was also like one of the singers, you know, those three singers, and she's always been a singer. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Milaka Falk.
Hey, oh wow, this is bright. I actually was not on stage over there. I was with the traveling cast of Hester's Follies, but that's just splitting hairs. So I have to tell everybody I was with Hester's. And then the three people singing was Rotel and the Hot Tomatoes. So because I was affiliated loosely with Hester's, I got to come to the Velveeta for free. And I was really broke, so free was good. And let me tell you, this was an amazing part of my life. Just being accepted by everybody here, and with Beau kind of being the dad over everybody, and giving us permission to play was amazing. I got to see so much talent on this stage and the stage down the street, and got to play with the Cheese Pistols some. But I'm going to tell you my favorite story, and it's another way that Beau kind of fostered this creativity. So Johnny would have different personalities when he would come on stage. There was Little Johnny Aneurysm. Do you guys remember that? And he would do all of his stuff, but just like this. So one night, he did Little Johnny Hypnotist. And he came out and he recruited some of us to be his shills, to come up and be hypnotized. And he said, just do what I say. Okay. And that was terrifying, but also freeing in a way. So what he did, and I remember there were three of us. I'm not quite sure exactly who was. Hello?
Rip that line out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was me, and I know it was Chip, and I'm not quite sure who the third person was. It may have been Kim. I'm not quite sure. But so he hypnotized us. He made us bark like a dog, made us do all sorts of stuff like that. And then, one by one, he killed us. He said something like, your lungs are shutting down, you can't breathe, you're dead. So we died, one on top of each other. And luckily, I was the last person, so I was on top. And then he was actually the first person on the roster that night. So there was, a second person, and then there was a headliner. So after Johnny said, thank you, I'm Little Johnny Hypnotist, walked off the stage, we all kind of whispered, do we get up now? What do we do? And by the time we were like, I don't know, what do you want to do? The MC was introducing the next act. So we stayed there until the audience left.
Oh my God.
We stayed there through the second act, we stayed there through the headliner, and I think the headliner might have been JR that night. But we stayed there until, and as this was at the old Velveeta, so the stage was next to the entrance with the stripper pole there, yeah. And so people would pause and look at us and whisper and walk out. And then everybody left, and Johnny came running up and was like, thank you so much, that was just the best. But that was an amazing night, and I still tell people about that today. And yes, that was Johnny's brainchild, but it was also under the tutelage of Beau, who would let that kind of stuff happen. So thank you, Beau. I will miss you, and I am overjoyed to see everybody here tonight.
Yeah. Hey everybody, give it up for Milaka. Hey Hey, you know what? This next guy, I'd always heard about him, man. I'd be over at Beau's house, and they just get it out of the way. Me and Beau were pot friends. We smoked pot all the time, okay? That was one of the bonding things with us. And if you guys don't like it, too bad, okay? Because he's dead, and I still smoke pot, so it works out. That worked out better in my head when I was sitting there. Remember, and Milaka, you guys liked her and everything. I go, I'm going to use that goodwill and just ride that wave. Apparently, anyway, I'm stepping on somebody's intro, and that's not cool. So can we start over?
Sure.
I remember hanging out at Beau's, and he had this one friend that was like one of the, because we've had, like, Bruce Hughes was here earlier. We've had a number of like people that are known here in Austin, like Bob Schneider and all this. Anyway, Beau hung out with this guy. I never met him. I met him tonight, and I was like, hey, and he didn't really care about me. Anyway, so are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. The trumpet player from Poi Dog Pondering, Dave Crawford. Come on up, Dave. Come on, give it up.
Wow, never done a stand-up set. Okay. What about that airplane food? One word comes to mind when I think of Beau, and that's curious. And I mean that. He was a curious dude. Weird. No. Curious about everything. Curious about the world. If you talk to him, well, let me start at the beginning. I knew Beau from college at LSU in Baton Rouge. Before Austin, before everything. He basically moved to Austin and then talked all of his friends to moving to Austin. And I was one of those. And I worked with Beau at this college radio station in college. Of course, that's why it was a college radio station, KLSU, and it was a great, great place. It was kind of like what I see you guys talking about. Beau did that for our radio station too. He was like, just kind of like a bunch of misfits on the air playing our favorite music. He knew everything about music, all kinds of genres, and his brain was constantly wanting to find out things. And basically he was a genius. I mean, I think everybody knew that. I mean, it's one of the few people I've known in my life that was smarter than me. No. But I'll tell this quick story about, I just started working at the college radio station. Beau was already working there. And we were obsessed with music. We were 24 hours listening, smoking weed, listening to records, and the record companies would send us all records for free. And then we'd go to the record store in town and say, oh, this record's scratched, we need another copy. And take the other one. That's a statute of limitations, whatever. So we were obsessed. And in 1982, Beau was on the vanguard of computers. Everybody knows that. He was like Apple guy all the way. He loved Steve Jobs, but he also, his real hero was Wozniak. He kind of looked like him a little bit, kind of chubby a little bit, really smart, into technology. And he did the US Festival in 1982. And Beau and actually it was Beau talked me into going. And we drove across the country. We were like, Beau, we don't have a car. And he's like, we'll get Sasha. Sasha has a car. And he talked this girl who had a car into driving us all the way to California. We were like 19. We didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, Beau, what are we going to do when we get there? Where are we supposed to stay? We didn't know anybody in LA or California. He goes, Greg Wright. Well, Greg Wright was a guitar player from Baton Rouge who had just gone off the tour with the Jacksons. He was like really, really good guitar player, very Hendrix influenced, left-handed player. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. So Beau cold calls him while we're on the way there and says, hey, we're gonna be in town, can we stay at your place? And he goes, okay, I'm in the valley, come on over. A couple of weird white boys coming over. And we showed up and Beau charmed him we were his best friends by the end of the night. And we had sat around his house drinking B&B. Does anybody remember B&B?
Oh, yeah.
The Benedictine and brandy? The worst swill imaginable. To this day, I can't drink B&B. It's Beau's fault. But so we went to the US Festival, and it was just a life-changing thing. It was 110 degrees. It's nasty. Everybody nowadays, like Coachella and all that, this was way before that. And then they kind of knew what they were doing with Coachella. They didn't know what they were doing yet with US Festival. We almost died from exposure. But anyway, it was a great time of my life. And Beau talked me into moving here. And that's when I joined Poi Dog, and that all started because of Beau. Everything in my life from 1982 on, I owe to Beau Bahan. So,
Yeah.
there you go. And also, I want to say one thing. There's some other people that I worked with on the radio station that wanted me to say a word or two. And this is from a woman named Donna Kavanaugh, who was a DJ with us. There's a couple of other KLSU people here too, Jay and Norm. Okay, so this is what Donna says. I'll try to say this without crying, but there's some people that we meet that you immediately know you're gonna know them for the rest of your life. Beau was one of these very special and rare people. Because of him, this chatty yet shy LSU student had a weekly radio show on WPRG before it became KLSU. I was forever nervous before each show and never wished to be a radio personality. I just wanted to share music that I liked, and Beau got that. I had more than a handful of technical mishaps on air, yet I never felt judged by Beau. I just felt encouraged to be better. He constantly opened me and every one of his listeners to new music. When Beau did his show, there was this magical stillness in the air. Beau had a great radio show. It's called Metaphors. Anyway, it felt as if all of Baton Rouge was listening to him. He juxtaposed songs and genres that kept you listening, not just for the music, but for his creative segues. Beau was truly an original. I believe I'm preaching to the choir tonight when I share that it's not just his creativity we loved about him, it was his genuine sweetness. He was a kind and gentle soul, and we are all so lucky and better off for having him in our lives. Thank you. I'm gonna miss him. I'll shut up now.
Hey, you know what? He was mentioning something that, Beau changed my life as well. Because Beau was there when I started comedy, but more importantly, he was there when I got my first computer. And, I was a bartender on 6th Street. I'm musician, bartender kind of guy, stand-up comic. And, 90 hours of college, but without any degree, I didn't, so I didn't, I was smart. But anyway, Beau was the one that introduced me into computers, and we both worked at the same ISP, Austin's first internet service provider. And because of that, I have a wife, I have a house, I have a kid, I have 2 kids, and I have a dog. And I'm a grown-ass man. I never should have been the grown-up that I am now if it wasn't been for Beau. And he was there for everything for me. God, I can kill a crowd even with sentimental stuff. Fuck you people, okay? I'm fucking up here trying everything and every time. It's just like the old Velveeta. Fuck off. And the old Velveeta, everybody just looking at me with a lot of fucking silence, okay? Okay? That's why I quit comedy, because of you fuckers, okay? And then, anyway, are you ready for that? Shut up. Are you ready for
Feel the fucking love? You're in the Velveeta Room. Come on.
Amos, you had your time, okay? You're puffy as hell, okay? That's all I gotta say. You got no wrinkles because your face keeps on popping them out. You got fat. Anyway, let's just move on. Oh, you want some? You want a piece of me? I know exactly who the fuck all you guys are, okay? Seriously, man. I don't care, okay? I got cable and pot at home. I don't need this shit. I'm being heckled by the fucking PA. Now I forgot who's coming up next. Hope you're happy.
Who's next?
It can't be known.
It's Nancy.
I know who's next. God damn. Okay, so I remember I was a bartender on 6th Street. I had an open mic. It was a year before the Velveeta came up. Velveeta came up, and it used to be like the Embassy Room. It was this cheesy, it was a stripper club, and they had ugly girls there. I mean, they were so ugly, you give them $20 to get the fuck away from me. Anyway, so they finally, the Velveeta opens up, and there was all these comics that were there. There was John O'Connell, there was Nancy Reed, there was Jonna, and there was Vanessa, and they were all part of the Last Aspirin, and they were just all the weekend guys. I couldn't get a weekend gig to save my life. And you know who was always there and nice to me? Was this next comic. She was always nice to me. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nancy Reed. Come on. The only person nice to me. Come on.
Oh man, how fun to see all these pictures.
Oh yeah.
Thank you to Austin Jernigan for chronicling our days, our wild ass days. And in hearing people talk about Beau, you're right, he had a very calming, balancing kind of energy. No matter what was going on, no matter what the craziness was, Beau was kind of the island of calm and reason, it seemed. It was hard for me for years to do any kind of stand-up without somebody shouting over me, "Live comedy!" My God, the lungs on that man. You could hear him for blocks in every direction and very clearly from the stage. The whole time. So I didn't know what I was going to say, but y'all reminded me of hypnotism stuff. So there was during a time when Austin was managing the club and I was booking it, and we would book this guy named Gary Conrad, who was a hypnotist. Anybody remember Gary Conrad? Baggy ass leather pants that were just way too stretched out. And so we, two things that involved Beau. In one show, we had a bunch of chairs along the stage was about 3 feet high, and then there was a curtain. And then there was nothing but behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a bunch of chairs taped together across the front. And Gary put them all under, and he told them that they were driving, and here come the cops, and floor it, and they all floored it, and the whole row fell back on their heads.
Yes, in that space.
Into that space. Just gone, they were gone. And some of them started coming out of it like, who's on top of me? What am I doing here? And we kind of got them picked up, and I guess made sure that nobody was hurt very much on the at the end of the night, Beau said, "Don't worry about it. I gave them all free passes. They'll be fine." We had another case with same. This did bring Beau out and to help us with the bouncing stuff, because we all had to. It was all hands on deck. He had given a guy a suggestion in the show that was apparently deeply under. This is what made me believe that hypnotism is real. I don't know if it's all real, but some of it's fucking real. Told him that at the end of the show he was going to really need to urinate, but when he was going to get to the bathroom he wasn't going to have a dick. And his dick would be lost, and he would have to, he was going to come and find people to help him look for it. So the show's over. The hypnotist heads back to the hotel, and we hear this blood-curdling scream out of the men's room, "My dick!" And the door flies open, and this guy comes running out, "Help me find it." He starts describing it. And pulling him, "Help me look, I was sitting over here," and he's tossing tables, Austin, you lose your dick, your superhuman strength, all of a sudden. He was, I think he cracked one of our mirrors. He was tossing tables, tossing chairs. Help me look for it. And it took all of us to hold him down. All of us to hold him down. And we called the hotel, and the hypnotist ran back over and just went sleep, and the guy went down. And said, now, when you'll be awake and refreshed, and you had an excellent time. And on the way out the door, he said to Beau, he said, what happened in here? Because when he came out of it, he looked around and the whole place is all torn up. He's like, what happened in here? And he said, oh, it was a great show. You were the star.
Did he find his dick?
No, it took, how many people do you think Austin had to hold that guy down?
I don't know.
It was 7 or 8 people that it took to hold him down because the superhuman strength of a dickless man.
Sounds like a president. It sounds like a president.
It's very impressive. God bless Beau. God bless the spirit that he put us all, surrounded us all with while he was here, and may we continue to carry that spirit with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nancy Reed. The superhuman strength of a... Anyway. That's the line of the night. Come on. Hey, so I have that open mic at Wiley's, right? And then the scabs of the Velveeta started opening up. But there was people that came in. Nancy was one of them. And the next guy coming up was one of them. JR wasn't one of them. No. Who else was there? Tom Hester was there. I believe Bednar was there. Yeah. But anyway, this next guy, I really like him. I mean, I like all these guys that are here, but this guy's, he's a close personal friend. He's the bass player, guitar player in the band, the Commissioners I play in. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for John O'Connell.
Slow Vegas walk. Thank you. Howard Beecher, everybody. As unfunny as ever. This is going to be brief, Kerry, because so be ready. I think he's next. I have a lot of stories, but everybody already told them about Beau. That's the best thing about going up really late at these memorial tributes. Just like everybody does all the stories, and I just come up and say, love you, Beau. Bye. So. But a lot of people, this is truly, the Velveeta Room is truly in a lot of ways, the house that Beau Bahan built. He was instrumental from the very start. I don't know if you guys, how many of you know this, but he was doorman first. I think Nancy, you mentioned it. And he was, sorry, Michael Parks. He was the best barker on 6th Street ever. Seriously. He was great. And then we kind of missed him because he had to move behind the bar. I believe he operated the strings on the curtains a few times. You guys know this about the Velveeta Room? It was a strip joint. Actually a strip joint and a comedy club. They would do stripper, male stripper, comedian, female stripper, comedian, and they would raise and lower the blinds. So Beau was great at that. A lot of you may not know this. Actually, you would not know by looking at him. Pretty good athlete, Beau, right? His family can attest to that. That guy introduced me to disc golf. That motherfucker could fling a disc like you wouldn't believe, just a little wrist flip. So, and anytime, I never beat him, but anytime I started getting ahead of him, he'd just pull out a big fat joint and get me high as shit. Game was over. So, he was just a great man, He smart, but not wouldn't put it in your face. But if you'd said something that wasn't true, he'd call your ass on it. He it's sad and it's wonderful to hear all these stories, these people that know him, because I don't know a lot about his past. I really didn't realize he was a DJ and had all that history. Thanks for giving that information, Dave. But he, it's wonderful to see his family and friends and people from different parts of his life. And it's really kind of sad that this is the only time that all my old dear friends, the only time I ever see you is when people died, basically. Bednar's and Joey and Johnny Torres and all the people we've lost. So I would volunteer to be the next one to die. But then I'd miss that party, so fuck y'all. I'm going to outlive all you motherfuckers. So thank you, Beau, for everything you've done for all of us. Good night.
John O'Connell. You know, so have you guys been watching the pictures and stuff? The next person coming up is one of the Velveetas from the old days. And I think you're gonna like her. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kerry Awn Reed.
I never met Beau, but if I had. First of all, I want to say to J.R. Brow, because I know Austin will be filming this, had I known you could phone it in, it was, you know, just saying. And to Nancy Reed, thanks a lot for losing all the weight and leaving me to be the fat bitch. The old fat bitch, even. You know.
I'm still older than you.
But you don't look it. You don't look it, and that's what counts. Anyway, October 23rd, 1989, I did my very first open mic at the Laugh Stop. It went very well. It went very well. Some of the comics thought I was from out of town, but I was up roasting a friend of mine, and she's very funny. Then I hate beginner's luck, you know? I once got a real estate license. I went out and showed a lady one house, and she bought it. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be rich. I was like, no. You know, it was downhill from there, and that hill was greased. Well, I came down to the Velveeta Room on the Thursday following that Monday that I did my first open mic. October 26th, 1989, I met Beau Bahan and John Bednarz. I had to follow John Bednarz on stage, and he didn't have a ride up to the Laugh Stop, so I hadn't met him that Monday. But that Monday, I made a lot of really great friends, and Bednarz on Thursday, and Beau, and Austin, and you're all permanent residents in my heart. There is no amount of time or geography or even death that can change that, you know. But I got up on stage, and it was the old Velveeta Room, you know. It was very darker than the inside of a cow, you know, and unlike this. and I don't even remember what bit I was doing. Nancy at the time was the Queen of Cheese. She not only was the house MC, but she booked the club. And I was on stage, I was doing some joke about people with kids, and I asked if anybody had any kids, and she yelled out the ages of her kids, and I told Beau to send a drink to the lady with all the stretch marks. It was a voice in the dark I didn't know. Had no idea. And so I found out after my set, she came up to me and said, "That was funny, and I'm the one with all the stretch marks." I went, "Oh shit." You know? And she goes, "No, I have them, and where's my drink?" So, but yeah, when you're on stage and you hear laughter amongst the crowd and a murmur in the back, I quickly learned something's up. You're all like, "She'll never work here." You know? And that's so wrong, because within a year I was working the door. So that's great. Anyway, it's great to see you guys. I'm sick about the reason. I love Beau Bahan. I know there were times I drove him crazy when we would be partying in the Velveeta Room after the show, and we could spin records back when we had records, and I would play Nick Lowe's Labor of Lust over and over and over and over, just fucking over. And I know Beau thought it was to annoy him, but I really like that album. It's a great album. Anyway, one time after Cruel to Be Kind, the next song, Cracking Up, he comes up to me and just lifts the needle and goes, "I don't think it's funny no more." Thank you. God bless you guys.
Kerry Awn Reed. Okay, so folks, so you go back in time, okay? So there was Hester's Follies, and then there was a character there that this place was named after, and they started back there. Well, you know what? He's actually, you asked me, who's your favorite comic? Well, I'll tell you who my favorite comic on the planet is. It's Kerry Awn.
Thank you, young fella. I was always the oldest guy. I'm still the oldest guy.
Not by much.
But I'm not the next guy to die. Howard Beecher is. On stage, of course. Austin Jernigan is right here. Austin gets all the credit. I mean, really, let's hear it for Austin because he's the man behind the man. And you're here, Austin. So thank God. The Velveeta Room was started by Michael Shelton. I can remember the first day I went down to the Velveeta Room and Michael goes, I'm looking for the name of the club. I'll give $100 to anybody that comes up with the name of the club. And I said, what about the Velveeta Room? He goes, perfect. Because I was doing a character called Ronnie Velveeta at the time. I never got that $100. But that was how Shelton worked. If you recall, the Velveeta Room was like week to week or month to month. And we had to cater the bar at first. So that was we played like it was our own little club. And that was great at first because it was like we all had different characters we did. And Chuck Slick and Johnny Velour was there. And, we'd do like the old school Las Vegas guys. Dee Barton and Jerry Lewis and all those guys. Jerry Lewis is still here. Steve Sanders, stand up. Jerry, he looks like. And he admits he does dye his hair. I've gone blonde myself.
God, now they're all gonna know.
Yeah, we didn't know. No man your age has black hair.
Can you feel the fucking love?
Can you feel the love?
I love it in here.
The Velveeta Room never changes though because no one ever sits on the front row. They all sit in the back, as far as the back as they can. The tourists always sit up front. So the Velveeta Room started because of Ronnie Velveeta, the name. And it's gone on all these years. It still goes on. Maybe it's still month to month. I don't know. But they did get a liquor license. But Beau was really the best person to ever be the manager. I'm sorry to say that. J.C. Shakespeare, are you here? No, George is not here, and J.R. Brow and Summer were the Anyway, here's a good story about Beau. I worked at Hester's forever, and I was able to come down here. Thursday and Friday, we had to come down to rehearsal and rehearse the same old shit over and fucking over. I was very bored. So, between Thursday and Friday nights, we had a little hour and a half or something between rehearsal and actual showtime. So I would go down to the Velveeta Room, knock on the door, and Beau was always there, and he'd open the door, and he and I would go in the office and smoke pot and talk about what we did that week. And Beau was a great listener. He would always listen to whatever you had to talk about, and he was a very calm person. Everybody knows that. He was always a calm. I never saw Beau get mad all those years. I'm sure he did get mad and get excited, but he was always the calming presence among all of us because we were all just fucking crazy, all nuts. And Beau would be like, oh, we need some money, toilet paper, count the money. He had a very calming influence. Also, I heard Beau told me a couple of stories too because he always wanted to come to Austin, Texas and manage a club on 6th Street. I think he meant a music club, but he got the Velveeta Room, and he was a great manager no matter what he was. He meant to go to a music club because he knew everything about music and all this stuff. So you would talk to him about anything in the world, and he would always have an answer. He would talk about something. So it was great. I would go down there between Hester's Follies every Thursday and Friday night, and we'd smoke pot and sit around for an hour, and then I'd come back and do the show. So I was always able to go on stage stoned, basically. And Colin Keating is here. I'm going to tell a Colin Keating story. One time we were going out to San Marcos, or New Braunfels, I don't remember. I think it was New Braunfels. And we smoked the joint on the way. And Colin remembers this story. I said, I had one good joint with hash in it, and one joint that was regular joint. and we smoked the wrong joint on the way, with a hash joint. So Colin got on stage and he couldn't remember shit. I tell you, he could not remember shit. And I'm sorry to bring that story up, and it has nothing to do with Beau, but I guess the whole pot thing just kind of, because Beau was my dope dealer for a number of years. You go to his house, which was trash, looked like some kind of hoarder house, just dirty dishes, fucking trash everywhere. He never cleaned out his toilet or anything, just garbage shit everywhere. But he always had a good pot. And he also grew those little loofah things. And which one to give a loofah? Here's a loofah, here's a loofah. Like, fuck his loofahs. Does anybody still have a loofah that Beau gave them? Okay. That's Amos Ewing right there. But the great thing about tonight is just seeing all the old comics and being here. And I picked up a disease. I have CRS now. I can't remember shit. Should have opened with that one. Yeah, that's one joke. I've got one joke. But Beau, he kept in touch with me. We talked on the phone, and I knew he had some kind of disease or something was weird happening to him because he didn't go out in public after a while. You wouldn't see him around, but he would still call me and talk to me on the phone. And he told me all this stuff about it. He goes, "Don't let it out. Don't let it out. Don't let it out. Don't tell people about my condition." But he was always a great guy, and I always kept up with him. So once he died, I actually was not totally, shocked. But I'm not surprised, I guess is the right word. I was in shock. But this is the third memorial service I'm going to this month. I've been to 2, and my son died recently, overdose, heroin, whatever, died. Anyway, that was my first memorial, and this is the second memorial. I have one next week to memorial. So luckily, all these people, have memorials in 1 month, because I don't live in Austin anymore. I live in Alpine. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's kind of like everybody else up here talking tonight. The only way we get booked at a comedy club anymore is somebody dies. Because that's how Beecher, I'll be the MC. Well, Beecher, fuck Beecher, fuck Howard Beecher. Everybody, after Austin Stories came out, everybody moved out to LA, to be rock stars out there. And me and Beecher were still the only guys here. And Beecher told him one night, goes, "Yeah, Kerry Awn, we're the only people here left. We're the only ones here left, we're the old guys, And we were like, I don't know, 35 or 40 at that time. We're the old guys. Everybody's gone. He goes, "But I tell you what, I'm funnier than you are now." He had that 1 year that he won that comedy contest where he was funnier than me. After that, he kind of dropped back in the computer and shit. But Beau was always a wonderful person. He was a computer guy from the very start. And he told me, I got my first computer. I said, "Beau, what kind of computer do I get?" He goes, "Well, Johnny Hardwick's got a Mac. So what I would recommend, get a Mac." So I got a Mac, and one of those colored Mac things you have, little weird shaped ones. So, and last time I moved to Spicewood, and I called Beau. I said, "Look, I need to come out here and do computer stuff." And he goes, "Well, I don't know, man. I got, it's 30 minutes from Austin. It's like a big deal for him to actually drive all the way to Spicewood, Texas." But he finally showed up and did all the computer stuff, set all my computer stuff and shit up, and he never came back, never came back to my house ever after that, because it was so far away. It was 30 minutes away from Austin, Texas. So I know Beau's sister is here. Where's Beau's sister? She's here, and she lives in Austin, and there you go. I don't know why I'm saying it, but Austin Jernigan's here, and all the comedians are still here, the old school comedians, not the young people, like, people that are under 70. But Anyway, I just want to thank y'all for coming out. I want to thank Hester's Follies next door. Of course, none of those people showed up. So I could really probably say what I really thought of them. But anyway. Daniel Frank is here in Austin, I heard. Where's fucking Daniel Frank? Speaking of comics, they can't get gigs now.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Howard, Beecher, and Daniel Frank. Daniel Frank actually attacked Howard one time on stage. Just choking him on stage.
I was heckling him. I was sitting at the bar at the old Velveeta, and then he got off the stage and ran and choked me and just choked me like that. Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, wait, was it in real or in jest? Did he actually? It was in real. He was a man.
Thank God for Daniel Frank. We all wanted to choke you. I want to choke you now, but I'm not going to. But Amos Ewing is also here. Amos, did you go up?
Okay, I will now.
No, fuck you. We already went up. I forgot.
I'll give it right back.
Okay.
Question, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Are there any Velveeta Room dancers or any Velveetians improv team here tonight?
Any cheese pistol people here?
I thought it'd be fun to do a improv in honor of Beau, because he let us do improv here.
Yeah,
all those
let's do an improv.
Wednesdays, and is anyone too stoned to do it? Not stoned enough? Where's the reefer tonight? Where's the hashish? All right, well,
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
All right. Can you die on stage? That's how every improv seems to end. People die when they fall on the stage.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Deborah's gonna do it.
Okay.
I was there like from the very first day of the Velveeta Room. I was there from the very first day of the Velveeta Room. These lights are bright. I really never got on stage unless I danced or did something, that was rehearsed kind of thing. But I laughed a lot, and I really, really needed the Velveeta Room. And my family talks about it. I'm gonna cry. Oh, God. But anyway, my daughter Crystal was in with, she came to see me, and then everybody kind of pulled her in too. But we went through a really hard time, and to come to the Velveeta Room and have that support and just that laughter was so healing for my whole family. And Beau, I was going to nursing school, talked about computers, and he helped me, and then he was like, clean the ashtrays, and he would go back there, I guess, with Kerry and hang out, and we'd come in, and we know we have all these ashtrays to clean. And then he would go sit out by the door and kind of monitor us. So make sure that we got it all done. But he was everything that y'all said, such a kind man, and a good businessman too, because he had a way of getting you to do stuff that you really didn't want to do or that was unpleasant. But I'm going to do that little cheese thing that we did to start. Nancy Reed, you were in on that, right? What? My daughter Crystal was a cheese dancer. We had the solid cheese dancers.
I say it's Nancy, and then you got, what is it?
Nancy, Crystal, there was Christy, I think 2 Christies, and Margaret Wiley would come down. Margaret Wiley would come down. And
Margaret taught us the dance, and she didn't wear any underwear.
Oh my God, we had to do start spreading the cheese.
Spread the cheese.
Yeah.
That'd be great, Margaret.
Yeah.
And Margaret flashed us 150 times.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
We were so happy to have her there, though, to teach us, and she choreographed a whole song as start spreading the cheese. Velveeta's okay. We're gonna serve a ton of it right here on stage. Velveeta can cook, da 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 da. It was a whole big band thing, Sometimes it flambés. No taste but great consistency for cheese gourmets. And it was like, I want a party with a Cheeto in skin-tight jeans. And try the cheese that goes crunch. Ooh, the cheese that goes sleaze. It's funny and hot, and then we would all start doing the high kicks. It's melting away. How about a nice big slice of it, Velveeta's way? If we can spread it here, we'll spread it anywhere. It's up to you. What is it? Velveeta's way or whatever.
Hey, give it up for Deborah. That was very nice. I like that. Hey, you know what? There's a few of you that need to come up here, and I'm wondering, is it you, sir? No. Are you sure? No, you got that Skeletor going. No, I don't even know him. I met him earlier, and I'm a dick. I get that. Okay. Hey, remember how I'm the guy that can kill a crowd? I'm back. Is there anybody that's going to go up, or are we done? Austin, you have not gone up. Austin, you have not gone up. It doesn't matter. What? Oh. Well, you know what? You know what, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for somebody that's from the old school. She moved away, but she's still a good friend of Beau Bahan, Miss Cori Stern.
I'm not a comic. I'm a producer. And I was not a producer when I first met Beau, and I've never been on this stage. I was married to a guy that would come on the stage, and he didn't actually come on the stage, but he would come up on the stage, and Doug Stern, I don't know if anyone remembers Doug. Yeah. Just a little, is this being recorded? Okay, I won't tell that story. You might see it, but anyway, I would never get laid if he would bomb, and so I didn't get laid a whole lot when we were first married. But I want to talk about Beau, and so I was always in the back of the club. I was a comedy wife, being here to support my husband, and I was in awe of all of you. And I knew it was a really special scene. You could just feel it. You could, the people that would come up, the artists, and it was this little club in Austin, and Austin was not this giant place it is now, but you could just feel the energy, and I used to talk about it. I did. I said it's like the left bank of Paris during a certain era, and I really do mean that. And Beau really facilitated that. Beau really was the glue. When we talk about someone managing a club, he managed all of you. It was competitive, but it was loving. It was there was cruelty. I was gonna say there was no cruelty. There was cruelty, but it was part of the gig, and I don't think I don't remember anyone not liking Beau and not feeling like Beau was on your side, no matter how bad you were or what happened. But it was a really special moment. So as someone who was here to witness it, it really, I think, informed a lot of what I went on to do. I'm a producer, and actually I was too scared to talk to Beau when he managed the club. I would just sit in the back and get cigarette smoke all through my hair that I'm still trying to get out. But on the listserv that I think you started the listserv, Howard. Yeah. When we all had our Macs, our big Macs, and I was part of the group that moved to LA, and that's when Beau and I first kind of started talking, was on the listserv.
Listserv is a mail where you send an email to one thing and then everybody gets the email. So it was before Facebook and everything. We all would talk. Yeah. It was the thing that kept us from the old Velveeta to the modern time. I think at first it was MySpace, and then it turned into Facebook and everything. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but it was the listserv, and it really did keep everyone together, and it felt like being in the Velveeta Room again.
Beau was real good at arguing. And
yes.
He was, and he was real intelligent, and he'd come in And yeah, good luck if you're going to go up against him. And he would always take on the conservatives.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I wish he was here
Chris
right
Cannon.
now.
He would take on Chris Cannon.
Oh my God. I wish he was here right now because he would just eviscerate these guys that are whatever they're doing right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He was so good at that. I was actually just reading some old text messages between me and Beau, and so Beau and I would talk, and then we started to get to be friends on Facebook and then Facebook Messenger, and we just mess. And so he really became a really good friend of mine. Sorry. But he was so smart, and he talked about all of you, and he talked about the radio station, and he wanted me to do a show about the radio station. He's like, it makes such a good series. I said, well, to get it really going, like I produce film and television, I said, it would be great if there was an article about it. Can you write an article about it? And he was just like, I can't write it out. And I was like, I said, Beau, have you met yourself? And that's really what I feel like. I feel like he knew who he was, but he sort of didn't. He didn't exactly know. And I like to think that he would really love what's going on here tonight. And I just want to really honor what he did in terms of bringing groups of really talented people together and holding that. And I loved him. I love him deeply. So thank you all, and I love all of you. I'm a fan. So the audience has come on stage and said thank you to all of you and to Beau. Thanks.
Cori, thank you so much. That was so poignant. And you know what? I kept on thinking about it. I'm going, you know what? You're right. Because Beau has made a big difference in my life. And all of us. I mean, he was intelligent, and that's what I liked about him, because I'm not a smart guy, you know what I mean? And so I liked him because he would, okay, for the longest time I go, it's a mute point, and he goes, it's moot. And I was like 40 when I go, what? The whole time? And he was always nice to me that way because he was smarter than me, and I'm kind of dumb. And he would just like, no. And it was very nice to me. He wasn't mean, and even though I was an idiot. And you know what? Everybody's talking about Beau, and sad that he died. But you know what? I'm happy that he existed and that I got to know him. Because think about it. You guys are all here, and you all talked about him, and it's a positive thing that we were here tonight. And I want to thank all of you for coming out. I mean, I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for supporting Live Comedy. Please take care of Milaka. We're back with the second show in half an hour. Once again, thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.